Our last speaker is Dr. Sorry, you hear me? It's Dr. Eytan Cohen, and how do you pronounce? I know him for so many years, but I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He will tell you. He's a Turkey expert at the Jerusalem Institute of Strategic Strategy and Security and the Moshe Dayan Center for Middle Eastern and African Studies at Tel-Aviv University. He received his doctorate from Tel-Aviv University School of History and is lecturer at the same institution as well as in the Hebrew University at Jerusalem, Ariel University, and Ben Gurion University. Dr. Cohen is the editor of Turkish Scope, Insight on Turkish Affair. In May 2015, he was awarded with Dan David Prize Scholarship for the category of Past Retrieving the Past. He is the author of the Evolution of Turkish School textbook from Ataturk to Erdogan from Lexington's book. And I think a very interesting point will be to start with what Ambassador Inachlein mentioned before, that Turkey now have like 42 embassies all over. It's a new phenomena, and I think it's a nice 43. Okay. So please continue from there.
Thank you very much. If you allow me, I would like to use a PowerPoint presentation, and it's here. All right, so I hope you can see. First of all, thank you very much for having me on this distinguished platform. My name is Chai. I'm affiliated with the Moshe Dayan Center as well as Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security, and I was born and raised in Turkey. So today I would like to provide you a Turkish angle regarding the Turkey's penetration in the continent. First of all, on paper, the Turkey's declaration of intention, right, to penetrate into Africa was declared in 1998. However, nothing has been done concrete until Erdogan's arrival. In 2005, Mr. Erdogan declared that year, the 2005, as the year of Africa, and gradually strengthened his bilateral relations with the African countries. And at last, his efforts bore its fruits. In 2008, Turkey was declared as a strategic partner of African Union, and thanks to this partnership, Turkey acquired the support of the African nations to become a temporary member of the United Nations Security Council. And after having this concrete success in hand, so Erdogan administration decided to deepen its influence in the continent, and as a result, we could see this diplomatic blitz. In 1998, while in the whole continent, the Turks had only 12 embassies, today we see that they have 43 different embassies, and the locations of these embassies are not, in ordinary locations. I would like to quote the former Turkish Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu once said that he wants every French diplomat to see the Turkish flag in the best location of the African cities. Okay? Yes, so we should ask the question, what differs Turkey from the other actors? And Turkey, once upon a time in the Ottoman days, of course, was controlling the North African shores, and even according to some historians, it even penetrated into down from Egypt to Sudan and even to Somalia. So the Turks are eager to emphasize that they are brothers, and they are adopting a non-colonizing approach, meaning that we are different from French, we are different from US and other Western powers. Okay, so how do they do that? Of course, they are launching a trade campaign. Today, Turkey is conducting business with more than 48 countries. And besides that, of course, they have their own agents. Of course, Turkey is using its own soft power. If we are talking about soft power, of course, we should speak about the Directorate of Religious Affairs, the Diyanet, the Turkish Red Crescent, the Islamist NGOs, the very famous Maarif Foundation, the Education Foundation, and the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, the TİKA, and the last but not the least, of course, the Turkish Airlines. As you know, their slogan is, "We fly to more destinations than any other airline in the world." So if Turkey is providing so much, so of course, this is the soft power dimension. Now we also have to speak about the hard power, the muscle power. And in this regard, we began to see that Turks are penetrating, especially in two different locations, in Libya and in Somalia. And of course, they are also increasing their cooperation with Ethiopia. So let's speak about Turkey's drone policy. I assume that you all heard about the Bayraktar UAVs that became the superstars of the Turkish usage in Syria against the PKK, PYD-YPG, or Azerbaijan used it against Armenia. The Ukrainians are using it still against Russia. And of course, these are very cheap compared to other UAVs from Israel or American technology. These UAVs are considered very cheap. And there is also another huge plus. The provider is not asking any questions, why are you using them, and to whom against you are going to use them. So if your government, is accused of some humanitarian right abuses and other accusations, so the Turks are not asking anything. So it's a win-win situation. It's cheaper. The provider is not asking any questions. So we began to see the penetration of these UAVs, this drone diplomacy. Turkey began to catapult its influence in the region, especially starting with 2021 Africa tour of Mr. Erdogan. He emphasized that there is a great African demand in the Turkish UAVs. And also we saw the immediate result in the Ethiopian conflict. You may remember that in Ethiopia, there was a conflict between the Tigray People's Liberation Front and the Ethiopian government between 2020 and 2022. And in this regard, in 2021, the Ethiopian government under Abiy Ahmed signed a military cooperation agreement with Mr. Erdogan's Turkey, and as a result, Turkey began to provide these UAVs to Ethiopia. And since the Tigrays, they lacked this electronic warfare engines to cope with this Bayraktar threat, the Ethiopians managed to defeat the Tigrays. Okay, so of course, this created, we can say, a very good example for the Turkish exports. And as a result, we began to see Djibouti, Somalia, Libya, Niger, Morocco, Togo, Ethiopia, right? They all began to buy the Turkish-built, the Turkish-made UAVs. And, besides these UAVs, we also have to speak about the Turkish armed vehicles, the Kirpi, okay, the Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, Nigeria, and Niger, they are very much interested in buying these weapons. And of course, it's not only the drone diplomacy. Turkey is building airports, like there are 5 important Turkish companies, Cengiz, Limak, Kalyon, Kolin, and Makyol, which are all considered as Mr. Erdogan's very close associates. And of course, if we are speaking about Turkey's penetration in Somalia, let's speak about, in Africa, let's speak about Somalia. It was 2011 when no country in the world was speaking and doing nothing about Somalia. Mr. Erdogan was the only one who went there, visited there together with his families. And when I saw the interviews of the Somalian people, they are saying that he touched our hearts. He did not behave us like the other countries behaved us. He really gave us the feeling that we are his brothers and we are having a very respected relationship. And as a result, first of all, instead of trying to get immediate profit from this venture, the Turks began to invest in Somalia. Of course, when you compare this investment with the UAEs or Chinese, it's very modest, but still it's a huge investment in the eyes of the Turkish budget. And approximately $1 billion were invested in Somalia. With this money, Turkey built infrastructure projects, a hospital which was named after Erdogan, of course, education, schools, transportation, security, etc. And of course, Mogadishu International Airport was reopened. Turkish Airlines began to launch direct flights to Somalia. And it's not only the airport, Turkey also inaugurated the seaport of Somalia. And when we are looking at Africa at large, it's not only Somalia, Turkey is also today operating the seaport of Conakry in Guinea and Takoradi in Ghana. And let me also speak about Turkey's military penetration in Somalia. You're seeing here the biggest military base of Turkey outside of Turkey, stationed in Somalia. They brought their Turkish tanks, UAVs, and nowadays also the Turkish fleet is patrolling there. They are training the local Somalian army, and they have also selected an elite division called the Gorgor, which means eagles in Somali language. These people are trained also in Somalia, and they are also brought to Turkey. When they are brought to Turkey, they are not only trained with military, but they learn the Turkish language. This is super important. For 6 months, they are getting Turkish education, also in terms of culture, also in terms of language. And when these people are going back to their home country, in the future, they will become the decision makers. So Turkey is also investing in the future generations, that they are investing in these people and they will communicate with them in the Turkish language and not in English, for instance. Okay, this is very important. In 2024, Turkey also signed a defense and economic cooperation treaty with Somalia. You're seeing these Kirpi vehicles. These were provided to Somalian army. From time to time, the Somalian army is engaging in fight against the Al-Shabaab, the terrorist organization. And of course, the Al-Shabaab also conducted a suicide attack against the Turkish embassy, killing a Turkish officer there. So it's very challenging. But this particular treaty that was signed between Somalia and Turkey was more designed to safeguard Somalia's interests vis-a-vis Ethiopia, because Ethiopia, parallel to the Turkish-Somalian rapprochement, we happen to see that Ethiopians signed a treaty with the Somaliland. I assume that you're all familiar with Somaliland. So to have an access to the Berbera port here, as you can see here, this is the landlocked Ethiopia. This is Somaliland, and this is the Berbera port. And since Ethiopia is landlocked, thanks to Somaliland, they have a bridgehead to the sea. Of course, this is against the territorial integrity of Somalia, and therefore Turkey intervened. And whether you're going to believe it or not, I concluded everything last night, and I said myself, yes, I'm ready for tomorrow's lecture. But Turkey's foreign minister thought different way, and he had a press conference. And after it was like 11:45, I go back to my desk and I had to put this picture into my PowerPoint presentation to make it more updated for you, okay? So as people say in Turkey, all included in our business, right? As you can see here, the Turkish foreign minister, together with his Somalian and Ethiopian counterparts, Selassie and Fiki, he declared that the two countries are signing a memorandum of understanding to overcome their differences. So Turkey became an arbiter between the two countries, and yes, they did it. They did it, and they are becoming a very key actor. And not only that, they are also taking part in energy sector. In 2020. Turkey signed an energy treaty with Somalia to discover hydrocarbon reserves, and it may cause a headache for Kenya government because there are some disagreements in the sharing of these natural bounties. Besides that, let's also speak about Libya. I assume that you all know that Turkey intervened in Libyan civil war starting with 2020, but beforehand in 2019, Turkey, I will come to this, Turkey and the Libyan government of national accord, they signed a maritime delimitation agreement. This is crucial. Why is it crucial? Let me show you, let me go next to the map, okay? Here you're seeing the Libyan shores, and here you're seeing the Turkish shores, okay? Here is the Israeli coast. This is the parcels that were declared by Republic of Cyprus. And the purple area was declared by the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which lacks legitimacy. So, as you know, there is a project called EastMed. The EastMed project, from Israel, there should go to with a pipeline. A pipeline should go to the southern Cyprus, to the Republic of Cyprus. From there, we should go to Crete. Crete is here, so this is road, right? And from Crete, we should go to the mainland Greece, and then to Europe. So where is Turkey? Turkey was bypassed. So what should Turkey do to cut this pipeline in the middle? Therefore, they signed a maritime delimitation agreement with Libya, and they ignored this huge island of Crete, and then they ignored the Rhodes Island, because Turkey is not a signatory of United Nations Convention Law of the Seas, which was enacted in 1982, okay, and it disregards the sovereignty of islands, continental shelves, okay? Therefore, Turkey is always looking at the mainland. And together with this agreement, Turkey signed it with the government of national accord of Libya. They cut the geographical contiguity of EastMed project from Israel to Greece, okay? And of course, to make it function, you should need a functioning government in Libya. And therefore, they began to send lots of weaponry to Libya, and with ghost ships. Later, after this lecture, I advise you strongly, Google this documentary. It's very short, like half an hour, 40 minutes. It's something incredible that you're gonna see that Turkey is sending ships, of course, sent the ships, especially two ships named Bana and Ana, two different ships, loaded with lots of military vehicles, including anti-air ones and armored vehicles, etc. And they could save this government of national accord from being defeated, so that they could safeguard this agreement. And of course, for what? For the blue homeland military doctrine of Turkey. Look at Turkey's map once again. This is the Aegean Sea. And all of the islands that you are seeing here are the Greek islands turned into Greek enclaves in the Aegean Sea. okay, because Turkey is calculating it from the mainland, okay? So therefore, to have a naval border with Libya, they involved in the Libyan war, and of course, how did they do that? Besides their military, they also sent their Wagner, which is Sadat, okay? And since we are in Israel, I only would like to tell you that the head of Sadat is not a big fan of Israel. Please look at the logo of Sadat, and you can see that we are all painted green, right? I cannot see there any blue. So thank you very much for having me, and enjoy.